Ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, welcome back to ETF2L Winter 2023. Tonight, we've got the Shadow Wizard Money Gang, there's a little dollar sign in the S for the Shadow Wizard Money Gang, versus Cornstarch Gaming, Comedy Shorts Gaming, Communism Sucks Gaming, going up against them. It's going to be Mac versus Ams and Condog, the most exciting matchup you will ever see in your entire life. To help you take through it here, this is week 3 matchup. We've got JMaxchill sitting by, has to deal with DuMmTm and I on production. DuMmTm, he's here as well.
I guess. Someone said I have to. It's me that said that, but still have to be here. And I'm honestly very excited. We talked about it before the game started, and obviously everyone else is already going into the third week's match now, but Shadow Wizard Money Gang hasn't actually played more than one game yet. The game against DuMmTm from last week has been postponed to possibly next week, situation pending. So we only have one result of this against TF2Z, a matchup that I don't think they expect necessarily to win either, and they very much did not. It wasn't the closest game, but with only that one in mind, we don't really have a good understanding of where they fit into the whole of the Prem division this season, so this will give us a lot more insight on that, I think.
I think it really does give you... This serves as a much better benchmark of how good the Shadow Wizards are going to end up being. I sort of thought that we'd have the new Panzer game to figure that one out, but unfortunately, I'm pretty sure... I say unfortunately, maybe it was fortunate for them. I think most of both of those teams ended up going to Amsterdam together. So they had to postpone their game. I look at these teams, DuMmTm. I think we probably go through a little bit of roster here. Let's start with the Shadow Wizards and just put them in front of us real quick. We've got Vanu Af on Scouts, we've got Opti, and we've got Geordie on Soldiers, we've got Mac playing Demo, Patchouli on Med. You look at this roster, is there anyone that stands out?
I mean, obviously I could look at the numbers like a nerd, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to say I want to just see a big performance out of Opti, because I believe in the man, and he's done really good work with him. Also, we're on Reckoner, that's the French map, everybody knows that. But no, yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. Of course, their scouts have like been in Prem, but where some of them have been like at their higher end already, right? Vanu and Av, not really as much as the rest of them. So, well, we know they're very capable scouts. It's going to be really interesting to see how they perform this season, I think.
I think they definitely have a little bit of a challenge going up ahead. I think they've both kind of been around for a little bit. At this point, I think Af has always been really, really good, but it's never quite able to scratch the sort of top level. I think the one time where Mac was sort of leading the charge in Premiership, managed to pick up a win on what was then Witness Gaming. They had Thomas playing instead, and Thomas was pretty good. I'm going to be honest, take a look at the other roster. They're playing up against CSG, Comedy Shorts Gaming. I think it's apparently their official name. Got Ams and Loopy on Scouts. Tiger is playing Soldier, and then instead of Haunts this week, it's Chris stepping up. You might have seen Chris back in the day playing for an Ascent roster that took a map off 7 way back when in 2017. More recently, you will have seen him lose to Naughty Newt in a bit for the final Premiership.
To be fair, he's not the only one.
Soldier.
He's not the only one losing maps on them so far, so it's not, the grandest I'll take apparently anymore. Who would have thought? Yeah, it's been weird. I mean, you had got the message from Ams as well about the roster situation, right? Any day of the week, someone couldn't play on CSG. They had to figure out what works the best, and I guess being down a soldier that isn't main calling, I suppose, is probably hurting the least in a situation like this, in a matchup that you very much need to work to win, but have a good chance on winning. So, yeah, Horns has been deemed the weakest link for the week. Also, just worked out by the scaling levers, I suppose, this week for Shadow Wizard Money Gang, who might still have to make space for a game this week, later online. We don't know yet for sure, but probably not. We'll see. It will be interesting. CSG had a rollercoaster for Season 2 games deep already, right? Strange game all around the last time they played against DuMmTm. Some good effort being made against Witness. Kept it close for a long time there, so they're close to greatness, but they're not quite there yet. This is going to be a good piece of practice for them, I think.
I think when you look at CSG, I think the player who by far impressed me the most going into that game last week versus Witness was by far Tiger. He was such a big, huge factor for this team, played so incredibly well. It was night and day difference between having Soapy playing there in week 1. So I'm really excited to see him step up. We're playing Granary and we're playing Reckoner Thursday tonight. Should be interesting. 4 Soldiers as well. I think they're a little bit more Soldier favored than most maps that we get. But
we'll see.
That being said, We're live here once again, ETF2L Winter 2023, Week 3, CSG versus the Shadow Wizards. We're going into mid here on Reckon, our first time up. We're going, and there is a, oh my god, it's an atomizer on Wandum. What is this tech?
Oh, Wandum on a weird weapon is nothing new to see here, I suppose. We'll see if it actually ends up working, though. That's the real question right now. Bombs in already, Jordy leading the charge, scouts in follow-up to that. Big damage right away, we're so weak on red bombs in return. Try desperately to get the ready. Patchouli barely living, Condor weak as well. And they now can collect themselves again and continue with the hunt. They know what the medic is and gotta have a chance to find him, but I don't think they can quite get there anymore. Scam device as well, nice stuff there. Loopy just carries home the medic alive. Condor will survive, but that was a great mid-fight. And I guess it's not technically over yet for him.
Okay, so they lose their demo pretty much immediately led to the aggression out of all of the projectile classes on the blue team. They managed to get that kill into Fancy, and it pretty much immediately takes CSG out of the mid. But Ams on his own kills both enemy soldiers in a string of 1v1s. It's just gonna let CSG walk right back into the middle here. Af doesn't actually take that much damage sitting on top. You can see the spam come forward. Soldiers aren't with the Shadow Wizards yet, finally rolling out. But it's just a kill onto Vanu in the flank here, taken by Chris and Ams. And now, the Shadow Wizards, they cannot hold mid. They have to walk back. It's even Ubers, and they're trading kills. Mac is so low, though, almost drops.
Well, Starlight just barely gets the kill on Chris as well. Maybe they want to go back in with that. They're thinking about it at the very least. The player behind died pretty quick, but they're liking their chances here. Guy on point beats at least one guy on low ground. That's the benefit as a team pushing into this point sometimes. You might just have better position right away. They're not careful about where they're at while capping, and this is giving them so much space to work with already. Decent damage being hit. Don't want to double down though. Won't use that Uber. No one wants to use just yet. Red team eventually just pulls the trigger. Ams with the solo scout Uber that he's known for. Going deep, gets the exchange, but can he get any viable position? Realistically, they don't just need to survive this, go back to mid safely, and they're at least getting out the better of this exchange, but they're wanting people behind, and that much is not quite finding the success they were looking for. Tiger that goes down, while Ams couldn't escape the end of the Uber charge, and suddenly Shadow Wizard Money Gang in great position to just finally get back into mid.
They're walking back into mid here. It was such a precarious fight to begin with for CSG. They've really won that off of a single pipe hit by Fancy, sitting on the low ground for so long for that fight. They tried to take the trade, doesn't really work out. Now, they've traded the middle point back once again. Ubers are stabilizing here, and they should be. It's around 10% of a difference. I wonder, does the game stabilize? Or are the Shadow Wizards, are they willing to push? Are they willing to do something to try and break the stalemate? Get a little bit funky, a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, we'll
Ubers,
see.
they're just evening out.
Also, I just realized there's a very, like, irrelevant but funny narrative going into this match about who's gonna be the on-the-bench demo man for the English national team in this matchup. I mean, Fancy brought it up. He was, like, last Nation Cup, Fancy was all pessimistic about, oh no, I'm never gonna get the spot. But what if he just starts winning games over Mac now, you know?
I mean, he'd still have to go through Domo. So
oh yeah, but that's why I went the guy on the bench, you know?
Yeah, unfortunately, Fancy just gets taken down there by a soldier just walking in. It's a little bit weird. Jordy just kind of presses W forwards through cargo, gets him. Now Rocket's actually coming up shooting really big, gets him super, super low. But another kill onto Tiger here. CSG have to just get out of second, honestly. You see Condog is walking away. I'm just trying to take 1v1s on second while the rest of his team just crumbles. That was so weird. What is going on? Why did they do that?
And Opti behind gets him so much value that this one tries to go quick as last team with the force attempt. That one does not succeed, so it's not all doom and gloom for CSG just yet, but it's certainly not looking great just now. Number one by Jordy with Vanu in as well, trying to just throw bodies in to trade some kills. Still get Tiger out of this whole thing. Jordy weak, gets stuck with the door, cannot escape. And Opti in the midst of all this, in the middle of the stalemate, switching to direct hit as well. They're having some funny plans over on Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We'll see who has the last laugh though.
They're casting some spells. Mac is actually caught out on the low ground here. Chris shoots him up into the skybox and gets taken down by Ams. The trade is now coming forwards here, but it should be kind of even. Chris is doing so much work in lower. He's now taken down 2 players, and this trade really just doesn't get anything done for the blue side. They lose a couple of the players. They don't have a demo man up. Opti now stuck on low ground as well. This should allow CSG to get in onto mid 3. Bottom out of Jordy doesn't do anything.
Alright, chat's demanding to know if they're on wizard hats, and the answer is yes. They're all dripped out for the spell gear they need to maybe win this match, but right now it could be looking better. The bombs are coming through, trying to see if Opti can bring some big impact on this one, but it's not looking to be going all too well. Soldier's down, and all the space on the second point going to CSG, and it looks like they're taking charge of the situation finally. Not with a good Uber ad, but putting your opponent on last is still always a great place to be for the time being.
The gun is being built by Vanu close to point, should deny. When it's sitting here, it denies the bomb in out of fancy if he wants to go for the alley jump, which is like sinking through main. He kind of just gets shut down by the sentry gun there. But it is even Ubers, as you're saying. Af now up on a little bit of a sniper. Going to be scoping up as CSG. Still just sitting in lobby here. Conlog is really far back. I actually don't think he's in range of any sniper peeking so far. Do the soldiers spotting him out as a kill is
he's in!
Tiger?
Oh, never mind. Well, he tried to be in. He did avoid being stuck on the gun, though, by just double sticky jumping in immediately. So, you know, there's levels to this whole counterplay on the alley jump, but the medic's in the spawn door, and there's just so much you can do.
Medic in the spawn door, but there's a demo down here. Fantasy's just not with his team at all. Has to roll out. And that means that this straight out of the Shadow Wizards is going to do a lot of work. Patchouli can milk for so long. Konnak actually launched up into the air as well. There's just not really any red presence there on second for them to potentially hold on to. But instead, the Shadow Wizards, they're choosing to walk back. They don't want to stay in. Ubers are traded. No kills for either side, but the positioning on last is not there. And that lets Ams just walk in. Claims 2 onto the combo of the blue team. The Shadow Wizards have disappeared, but the wrong way, as it's just one gun up, not even taken down. Loopy and Condor claim the first round.
They were worried about exactly that happening on second as well. They saw the flank coming in. There was a soldier and a scout on max POV just rolling out from the cargo area on the right side when they were going towards second, but they saw those guys coming in and didn't like the chances staying that fight when those guys can just completely deny them. Turns out they were just still too late to leave even at that point. The decision happened, but much too late, and CSG takes complete charge of the situation from there. Big lead fairly early on, not a dull moment just yet this game. Both teams just continuing to go at it at all times.
It's going to be interesting to see how Fancy tries to adjust on this mid. It's a really fast bomb out of Opti, does a lot of damage, and a really nice rocket there onto Loopy's a good start. Now, Demo dead again. Once more for Fancy, just doesn't have the team back up. Now Ams is going to have to do so much of the heavy lifting as he just walks in and combines with Condog to clean up Patchouli. He's somehow still alive, almost takes down Mac. I guess they lost the mid fight there, but they've just completely fine. Condog so far back. That is such a play out of Ams.
Well, sometimes you just need that difference maker, and right now Ams is very much claiming to be exactly that for his team. And it's mattering a whole lot here right now. Just some, you know, you can play smart as a team all you want, but you also got to deliver the DM to really make it all fit together. And right now, that's all working out just fine. Still have to reclaim the midpoint, but without the looking so far, that might just be the easy part for this whole fight. Luki gets the first kill going, Opti's bomb just empty into the combo, will not succeed at all. And it looks like the rest of CSG will just have easy pickings on this point, because HADOWWIZARDMONEYGANG is not going to mess around with this too much more.
They're just not really willing to take this fight still. They're down 50%. They want to get this force out pretty much ASAP. Honestly, they can't hold on to last. They just want to delay it long enough to last eventually. They don't have to deal with this. There's a trap out of Mac, and he hasn't dead, which is how we know he's not cheating, because he would have gotten a demo kill there. But instead, now, they're back on last. Patchouli, 85%. Sentry gun being built. There's a bomb coming in out of Tiger. Doesn't find Patchouli. He lives. And that should probably spell the end of the push. Counter bomb from Opti. Doesn't get anything. They're actually looking to go forward here. Patchouli has Uber charge now. They're walking in onto last. Sticky's being put onto the point, but that sentry gun should deny so much. Kill onto Fancy. This should shut down the push. They've lost so much for that.
Yeah, nice clutch gun coming in there. Ams will get another kill. Johnny tries to get to the lobby. Av down as well. Ams is just on a mad one today. You were talking about who was cheating or not this game. Are we sure Ams isn't?
I was bigging him up on Fully Charged every Monday, by the way. 21:15. We recap last week's game. I was talking about how I was expecting a little bit more from Ams after his official from Witness, and he's stepping up big in this matchup so far.
You know, if you just change 2 letters in AMS, it spells AZN, you know?
Oh my god. Now they're sitting in a lobby here, CSG, just sitting around, letting Mac farm some DPM. Moment, he's spamming across main. I'm really waiting to see where they decide to go. as they're probably just going to look for a second.
Fancy's
This
in
Sentry Gun does so much work, denying everything. It's Fancy Elf, wants to bomb in onto Patchouli, doesn't get a single point of damage onto him. Teleporter pick out of Chris is the trade there. Demo for Telly. Crazy?
It's a weird one, right? We talked about how doing the double sticky jump from the wall instead of airport going in means you get past the gun pretty much confirmed immediately. But you're so fast, it's going to be so much harder landing on these pipes with the speed to begin with, but also just reacting to where the medic is standing once you're flying in there with that much velocity. So it's helping in one way, it's hurting in others. It's not working just yet, if anything.
It's weird, right? I'm surprised AMS isn't playing Spy right now. I'm gonna be honest. I was kind of waiting for an off class, but there just really isn't any. They're really banking the stock standard 6s classes to try and make something happen here for the team. But just sitting far back in lobby, I wonder. Like, this demo sack has been attempted twice and hasn't really worked. Really don't think they should go for it a third time, honestly. We're in an angle where they probably should try something else. I wonder what they even do. This gun, DuMmTm, does so much work, denying pretty much anything, everything. It's dead now.
That's last point for you. You gotta get rid of the sentry guns somehow to be able to work anything else into the point as a play to begin with. And on last points like this, where you don't have other options than just pretty much straight go at it, unlike say Badlands or Gully Wash, it's just gonna make things a lot harder actually getting past this thing to begin with, right? Like, what other options do you have? Sooner or later you'll have to go through it one way or another. You can't just go point as a means of making pressure.
Or you can just wait for the 2 more minutes on the round time with DuMmTm and reset it all and go back to mid.
Okay, I don't think that helps CSG much though right now. I mean, I guess it might if they just win the mid fight, but they still have to do that first of all. I mean, it's kind of happening, but not really.
I mean, they just finished in the last couple of seconds, right? They bomb in there for Mac, don't really get anything. Trade 1, counter bomb immediately out of Opti, gets shut down. But you just kind of, honestly, like, if you are CSG, just run down the clock, right? You're 1 round up, it's pretty good. Condog stands on stickies and eats a pipe out of Mac, and that means he has to walk really far back all the way to shutters, and I think CSG might just have to leave lobby off of that. Question is, no, Mac are smart. They just stay back. The Wizards are charging up their spell, and they're gonna wait.
Alright, we'll see. They are very much the ones that should stay here on us, right? They don't have any reason to take a risk right now. If this was later down the line in this game, there would be plenty of argument to try and get a last right now. It's all fine if they go to mid as long as they win it, and with the, you know, added hindsight that they kinda lose players late to AMS every mid fight, they have been winning them, so any better than the previous mid fights, and they're just looking like they're in a really good position.
Tiger has about 1:45-second time window here to try and make something happen on this sniper. He's sitting in lobby in main right now, but he has to watch for so many things. First of all, the sniper angle is not really good. Chris bombs in, tries to see if he can find an angle, doesn't really get anything. This angle is so hard as the sniper has to deal with the counter sniper out of AF as well. And now 30 seconds left on the clock. I think at this point, CSG just kind of have to commit for something. Anyway, you see, Fancy's just bombing all the way in, gets so much damage done. It's actually 2 frags here for CSG. They're traded across. Mac is actually caught out as well, but the headshot on Tiger, the kill onto Loopy, and that puts Condog and Chris so far back.
More
Opti is on second. Don't cap this, Opti. Please, I'm begging you. This is so troll.
Do they push that cap? I'm just thinking about it.
Don't cap
this. Oh,
this.
no, they're leaving. We're going home.
Yeah,
no one's
we're
doing
going
anything.
Back to mid, baby. Back to mid.
I've seen people lose so many times pushing out there through the obvious trap that this is, so honestly, props to HADOWWIZARDMONEYGANG for not taking the obvious bait.
I was so worried that Opti would just decide to cap that. You really don't want to cap that. It's even Ubers, you're on last. You'd much rather just take the even Uber fight on middle and not lose the round, instead of taking the even Uber fight on second and losing the round. Which is pretty much the entire philosophy there. So now we're back on mid. Fancy's been having a rough time of it so far. Opti's going up on his enemy side once again. He's picking a different angle though. He's walking on the staircase, but he's shut down by the scouts now. It's giving Chris and Tiger time to bomb up forward here. Pressure is being picked by Mac, but he's just taken down with a bomb out Tiger. Now Chris can come back in as well. App has high ground, but it's not really enough here. Patchouli on the low ground as well. Kill onto Chris. Condog is kind of exposed. It's 3-4 for both teams right now as they're exchanging a high ground. But Jordy wants to bomb in onto Loop. He doesn't get it. AMS now sitting with his medic. It is 2 death balls versus one another, but it is the Wizards. They have to walk back. Patchouli gets stuck on a little bit of geometry. Ams is feeling it. He wants to go forward. There's so much damage on this medic. He has an Uber charge. He doesn't want to pop it. Now Ams is dead. Vanu is in onto Condor here. Wants to find it. The Uber is traded across now. It is popped out of Condor. But Fancy, he's missing these vibes. Dude, you gotta hit this, please. I'm begging.
Oh
no. This is a disaster. Patchouli has full ad.
This is going great for HADOWWIZARDMONEYGANG. Like I said, they've been more or less winning these mid-fights. There's always been a complication here and there, but this time around they're winning the complicated scenario at the end of the mid-fight and coming out the better for it with good advantages there, like you said. So what's going to slow them down now? There's going to be something big happening, and maybe the AM sniper is exactly what they're looking for, but he really has to hit this one, and they're thinking about it already.
They're thinking about it. This is such a nice position to try and tie this game up. It's still 14.5 minutes left in this game. Hams up on Sniper. He's gonna have to find a really big headshot to try and keep his team in the round. Scoping up right now, but the Uber's just gonna come out in onto top here. They're coming forwards, and it's kill onto the sentry gun immediately. Now, stickies are being put onto the forward spawn, and everyone in CSG, they're so far in. The bomb comes out Chris, but it's 2 taken down. Now, clean up kill onto Mac. They don't have the stickies anymore, but the round capture is just there. There's not enough CSG present at the point, and it's 1-1.
There we go. One mistake cost them dearly here. That exchange after the mid-fight did not work out. Well, I guess it wasn't really an exchange to begin with. That was the problem. They could not find the successful exchange they were looking for. HADOWWIZARDMONEYGANG back in it halfway through the game. It's 1-1. Scores low, but action is still very high here. It's just going back and forth very quickly, and this round hopefully will not change much about that here. The mid-fight last time was a very close call already. This time early bomb into the backhand. Strawdy just tries to get position in the back here.
CSG are in such a precarious position here. They're trying to wrap around, but they're taking so much damage in the process. Now, sides have effectively been swapped. As Opti just gets taken down, bombed in his own toxic there. Now, second bomb comes across out of Jordy, wants to go in, but he doesn't manage to find anything. Tiger, he's dead as well. It's 2 down for both sides, but they're lacking a scout on CSG. Condor doesn't have any high ground to play with. There's a Mac forwards, but he's not hitting the pipes. Af is taken down now as well. Vanu and Patchouli have to run out through lower, but Bill should be right there. Fancy Elf is walking into lobby now. Opti can try and help out his team, but it's so much damage dealt now. Uber comes out onto Vanu, and he's going to have to find something. Trade comes out, should be decent, but it's not quite enough. It's Loopy chasing forward here, in onto Patchouli, and just managed to clean him up. Anything else is a bonus, just gets taken down. Opti dead as well, so is Jordy. And CSG, they're looking comfy here on second. Just have to watch, keep Condog alive, because you know for a fact that the Wizards, they want to fireball him.
Well, Loopy saw Ams get away with these, and once in on that as well. Works out pretty well here. That just completely denied them. Such a late kill on everyone as well. Just makes it all easier to last. You'd think late spawns for everyone, not a lot of kills to go around, not a lot of time to set up a gun, but Tiger going down early. Fancy completely denied by Opti as well. Nice stuff by the soldier. Suddenly, there is a chance, and unlike before, maybe you want to actually push out on this one.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking to go forwards for it, right? But Mac takes so much damage just trying to get through shutters here. Hams is somehow alive there. Finally is getting taken down. And Jordy there as well, but now the rebomb out of Chris doesn't really do anything. They have to just kind of give up on second here. Connick would be 95, but they're not really in position to play off this ad. Honestly, Patchouli 20% away from getting an Uber charge of his own. This sticky trap out of Mac sends Fancy Elf in the wrong direction, and now they can try to maybe catch up Patchouli, but they don't get it. Instead, it's 9 Tiger dead, 1 Opti behind, and this push is just so over.
Yeah, there we go. It's just not quite gone as expected. Either way, though, Uber coming out for HADOWWIZARDMONEYGANG, so when one side the action stops and the other now is where it really starts up now, looking to be coming in from the lower areas. Well, just have one guy behind, do have to worry about that. Chris in the background as the push comes through, and it's not finding a whole lot of damage just yet. In fact, Jordy goes a bit too deep, doesn't have the flash anymore, will go down, pistoling for the life saving, but Loopy is the one that gets the kill in the end, and this did anything but help, actually.
This is such a weird fight. They go in, but unfortunately it's just a wrap, and the flank just gets completely boomed. Vanu and Jordy both just kind of taken out. Now they're 2 down. Chris the only one up. Ams is feeling himself. Maybe wants to go forward. This is a giant ad for Condog as well. Just honestly set up to maybe try and take this round. Opti, let's get taken down, but Tiger does go down now.
Alright, things are gonna get dicey here. Uber for the red team coming in to last, see what they can clean up with this one already. A couple of people trying to stay way forward instead of in the back, with the rest of the team trying to avoid the Uber that way. Does live for a little while there, the soldiers spawn, but Doom still go down. Even some decent damage they hit, that might just not be good enough. Having a back claims one more. Vanu might just save the day here where the soldiers up front die early. At least the damage is worth it in the end.
The damage is not quite there, honestly. Now, big advantage here for the Wizards as they go forwards. They're in shutters right now, but the bomb comes in from Tiger, and it's so nicely timed. They get the pop out of Truly, and the rest of the team could just walk back off. That was a really nice bomb by Tiger.
All right, well, that is exactly what they're looking for. Last third of the game starting now. It's still a tight match at the current stage of the game. Jordy denied early. They're trying to just see if they can somehow angle someone into mid, got away with a bomb here themselves, but Kondok is going to stay safe despite it. In fact, you know, they're making it easy for them here. Why sit back? They're going to go in there. If you were touched, they want to get back into last, so not sit back and mid any longer. Just get going as quickly as you can. Second point on the wraps already, and you know, they want to do out. Here it goes. You get what you asked for.
The Uber's now going to come in out of combo here, but it's a kill actually pretty much immediately on defense. He just didn't get flashed. Tiger's stuck fighting this heavy, and this Uber is honestly so tragic. They can't get forwards. There's no real space off of their lack of demo. Kill to Mac, decent start, and now Jordy dropped down very low as well. How to go back to spawn, but this heavy out of Vanu should be able to keep their team in around, at least for now. Opti now up on the sniper to try to hit something onto literally anyone. The soldiers exchanging. They bump each other in the end. Now the bomb comes in. Kill onto Af. There's so much cap time onto this point. The Uber's coming out of Chuli, and the rest of CSG, they're just going to walk back.
Although Ams is just going back
to
the point.
What?
Everyone ignored him. They were trying to go for kills, and they missed the most important one. Ams once again being the difference maker this game.
That's so sad. They get in there?
But it's also so funny.
Man, I looked at chat and I saw Ain't No Way, and I'm so happy that even as a young person there's an emote to capture my exact emotion. As Reckoner Last is a thing. Opti dead immediately on this mid. Doesn't get to play it at all. Mac actually has a lot of space to work with here. Konik has to walk all the way into the enemy lower to try and do anything here. Get his HP back. But now, kill onto Patchouli here from Chris and Ams. This is a really good start. The bombs are coming forward from the red soldiers. It's one soldier in Jordy left to try and salvage. Banu wants to see if they can salvage as well, but they're just not finding the shots. Kondok stays alive, and it's a wipe for CSG.
It has been a close game in many regards, but when it just came down to clutch DM moments, I think time and time again, CSG's been barely eking them out more often than not. I guess the one fancy moment aside, really. They've been looking really good when it comes to these messy team fights, and I mean, there's a reason they're taking them as well. They know they can get away with them, and it's been working out pretty well. Trying to get an early force, both blue soldiers busy to find anything at all, and Tiger's the one getting caught in a crossfire. That's not nothing, but how much will it help since there's still Uber charge to worry about?
That's an Uber charge for them to worry about. I mean, a nice little Tiger kill is fine. And take the wind out of CSG's sails a little bit, but he's going to be back up. They can just kind of wait for Tiger to come back and then push when he's there. Or they could just walk in anyway through main. As now, Uber popped in onto Fancy Elf. He's going to go forward. He's just going to get two-shot by Jordy. And now, no demo once again makes this Uber so much harder than it has to be for CSG. Heavy up as well. And how do you deal with this heavy with no demo? And it's just that the push is over. They're back on to second hit. Patchouli has a giant advantage.
And it needs to matter as well. They're one down, but there's still enough time to bring this one back. Crystal Mason here, quite a bit actually. Only a killer, but not quite Opti. The first one to get one on the board. Tiger still around as well, just about escapes alive, unlike his, well, not exactly teammate, I guess, Chris. The Merc will go down. That's the only one they're missing, but still far behind on the Uber charge. Not gonna help the issue much. HADOWWIZARDMONEYGANG have only one objective right now, and they need to bring this back real bad. It doesn't matter if there's little time left here. It is enough, and they need to take their chance. Bomb through on the back end of this one, trying to get forward, but Julie holding on for dear life, and it's gonna work out.
That was so scary there. Tiger got to shoot like way too many rockets for it to be any comfortable at all for Patchouli, but he manages to hold on. I think crucially though, that bomb in out of Tiger gives CSG enough time to stall. They get the overcharge of their own, and now with 6 minutes left on the clock, CSG could just sit and hold on their last for as long as possible. You know, if you're the Shadow Wizards, you have to walk in, you have to soldier pick, and even though it's a 5v5, you just kind of have to make something work. Before the sentry gun's set up, they're doing just that. The Uber is just out of Kondok because Opti takes the free ticket in onto last. And this gives the Wizards such a large advantage to try and get in, to try and make something happen here.
I really like that as well. Back, like, threatened also going deep, but he just saw the gun and just took that thing down to make sure that the bombs after him will in fact go through uncontested. Works out quite nicely, keeps him alive, keeps everyone else alive, other than exactly Opti, who got the kill in the end. So, or the Force, I suppose, they got everything they wanted with that play. Connor took a critical here, just in case they want something up as soon as possible, so the Lego crits is coming out, but will it matter? Truly has invincible people running into last with him, so as long as they hit their targets, this should be looking good for the Wizards.
Crucially for Mac there, he actually gets a flash after he's gone in onto the last. He stays alive, but the Heavy is still up out of ammo, but everyone on CSG's just clumped into a corner. It's so much damage dealt, but unfortunately it's just not quite enough. Loopy lives just barely, and CSG are managing to stay in this game. That Uber, it started out looking so well. Everyone on CSG also just clumped up, but the kills come out. They managed to clean up something. They're back onto their second.
That's the matter with this last one. You either need to just win the spam game or go deep and kill everyone instantly, and just wasn't quite either of those two options here. Tried to go in now on second instead, but big results already. So does doing big work for the red team. Left and right each. Oh. There we go. One sneaks through uncontested. Barno just gets a blast. There's the back kept going on up into a pain train. Well, they already got what they wanted, I suppose. The scout there getting the medic is pretty good either way. Living any longer there would have done a lot of favors to the guy in the back, I suppose, but not quite getting everything. Still, they got a lot, and maybe just enough as well. 4 minutes left. Time is ticking quickly.
Time's ticking, but they have an Uber ad to work with here. But truly, 90%. There's stickies up on middle. They're going to have to try and clear them. They don't even lose the cap. This is really big as well. They don't have to waste that time getting that back. Now, it's all about taking second as fast as you can. Hopefully, even potentially, maybe you're being a little bit greedy, getting a couple of frags as well. But CSG, they're playing so passively, they're already back on their last. Now, 60% for Condom. But look at the damage dealt by the Wizards. They're just coming in through main. The Uber still has not been popped by Patchouli. Now, finally popped here. Fancy Elf does manage to make it back to spawn. The Stickies are still on at the point. Tiger, though, bombs forwards. It doesn't find anything. So much damage is dealt to the combo, but Connor manages to stay alive, and the Uber's popped out, salvages his team. Everyone on CSG are so low, but finally AMS can just come in with a cleanup, and they manage to stay in it once again. The Uber ad push is busted.
That was so painful for Mac to not like he was trying to play patient there, trying to dead the sticky trap on spawn on the medic, but it did not get the intended result as well. Could have maybe dead on 2 people earlier than that, but wanted the big one, doesn't get it. Condor still alive here. Repush instantly. Barno goes down right away. Crane it out immediately. Bomb at the back. The combo, it's huge. No Jordy.
The nuke comes out of the Wizards. They cast Pyroblast, and now it's one scout in of Loopy. Doesn't get the deny, it's a wipe. And with 2.5 minutes left, the Wizards, they put themselves back on the map. CSG caught with that pants down, and it's 2-2 with 2 minutes remaining.
Once it's an accident, but twice it's a trend. This is the second time now CSG might just choke a game on the line. It wouldn't be a complete game loss this time around, and there's still 2 minutes left, so it's not quite as bad just yet. But it's not looking good.
It's anyone's game right now, but honestly, it feels like for the most part, mids have also been really even. It's been really hard to sort of pick out who's gonna come out ahead. Jordy's electing to go really fast into under. He's 100 HP, gonna have to take the pack before he can go back in, try to support his team, and that lets CSG take down App almost immediately. And now the coordinated soldier bombs come across. It's Chuli just taken down, and Jordy does go down, gets traded, but Opti, he's found a kill onto Kondok here, Vanu dead as well, but Opti's just in. He manages to clean up everyone besides the Red Scouts. They take the middle cap, but both medics go down. It's even Uber's still all to play for here.
Yeah, Mac is just lost right now a little bit here, but seems to be getting out of it just fine. So crisis averted on that, and Opti saves the day. Like I said, it's the French map for a reason.
This is kind of wild, that mid. It really honestly looked like CSG was just going to win it, getting that Patchouli kill. The cleanup out of Opti is so big in his own cargo there to keep his team in the round. Now, kill onto Chris is actually really good for them. Bomb into Kondok as well. It's so much damage. He lives on just barely 15 HP. The follow-up is not there, though. And the Wizards, they have to stay on second.
And now, do they? I mean, this is just a matter of faith right now, right? How much are you willing to risk it all to avoid the golden cap in the first place? How much do you not want to go to overtime? And it looks like reality settling in for a little bit by HADOWWIZARDMONEYGANG. They don't want to lose it all just now. Need to play a little bit safer than this because the scouts are completely out of position, but Judy dies with 30 seconds left.
It's a crumble. Tiger just walks into lobby for free. There's one Opti bombing in. Two soldiers have to hold this point. They have to hit all the rockets in the world, and they're just not there for them. CSG take their first map victory of the ETF2L season 44 season. It was so nail-bitingly close, but Tiger in the end, he just finds that little frag onto Patchouli.
You know who also choked a lot of games in Prem? Yak. You know what rhymes with Yak? Mac.
Oh my
Case
god.
closed. We figured it out. The curse is living on.
Yep.
That is a miracle win for CSG. They were so down bad at the end. They had no right to win that, and somehow they decided to disagree with fate.
That was such a weird game. I feel like both teams walk away feeling like they should have won that. Both teams also walk away feeling very relieved because they probably won't be very happy with their own play. I'm going to be completely honest. There are so many missed opportunities for both sides. That was a very backwards and forth game. I'm really excited by how aggressively both of these teams were playing it as well. It gives me hope. It gives me faith that maybe perhaps the next map is a little bit more aggressive than perhaps Granary might normally be.
Well, I don't know for sure. Maybe you actually got told the details here on who picked what, but if I had to take a guess, I would imagine Max team is the ones picking Granary. That strikes me like the guys that would like that map. I guess I can't really say the opposite necessarily for Axis roster, but I do have good confidence that Max team does like Granary a lot. Liking something does not equate doing it well though. So we'll see if somehow maybe that just doesn't matter in the end for them too much.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we technically have some logs to put on your screen if you like to look at numbers.
Crazy.
If you want numbers, I can tell you that Am's got 30 frags and died 14 times. Very big map.
He's a gamer.
Yep, from him. I just look at Geordie actually does so much
Okay,
damage.
Geordie had like a really big game as well actually. That went like the traditionally very heal heavy soldier for them. I guess not necessarily untrue today, but not nearly as much as other days, I suppose. Maybe it's a map thing as well, I suppose, as well. Where he's just much more the like classic pocket soldier, I suppose. Tiger very much takes that role in comparison today.
Tiger had some very clutch performances as well, really big bombs. I think from everyone involved, Opti might not necessarily see it in the stats in the same way that you see Geordie's big damage number, but he had so many heads-up plays for his team, sort of kept them in it. Those crucial little bombs were so very big. Good stuff out of all of them. Honestly, I feel like Geordie's one of those players where, because he's played Div 1 for so long, and every single time a Mac team has made it to Prem, he's always not been on it. he's been on the roster that makes it to Prem and then immediately doesn't play Prem because of other stuff happening to him. But, I mean, he shows up here this season, plays really well. He played at Arcadia as well and was also really good at Arcadia. And it's exciting to see him.
Oh yeah, for sure. Geordie is one of those like creatures languishing in the depths of Div 1, just ruining everyone else's fun a lot of the time. I'm often with him too, actually. So Mac dragging his boys up finally might do them some good here. I mean, oftentimes it's for good reason why Geordie, I think last season especially, they didn't have much time for other commitments as well, but he has the time now and has a hell of a time apparently as well. It wasn't a win, but they're looking good here. This is still looking doable. As close as it might have been, it looked like it was getting better by the end. So maybe a hot start on Granary is going a long distance for them right now. Let's see if CSG can keep pace with that. They are looking a little bit outdone by the end. Barely clutch it together. So good to see if they can keep themselves composed.
I think that's also what really matters here. Keeping it yourself composed. Granary is one of those maps that can maybe test your patience at times. You sort of have to make sure that you don't give any free angles here, because if you play Roma and it's like your job to sit and look at ramp room for like half of a map, I wouldn't blame you if you get like a phone notification, you just like quickly check it, you know what I mean? And then, I don't know, for some reason Ams is just pushing the flank with the rest of the Avengers and you just lose the round. I've seen stranger things happen.
We have seen stranger things happens today, really. If you think about it. The things they've got away with sometimes here on CSG is impressive to say the least here. clutched it together last minute here, last map. This is now map 2 in this regular season series here, so let's see who can sneak away the last 3 points in this fixture on the league tables. 3 more to get, first 3 going to CSG. What's it gonna be on map 2?
We are going straight in onto mid here. Both teams are rolling out right now. It looks like the Wizards are electing to go top here, pretty much all of them. Kooky little rollouts. They're all getting in here now. Bomb actually immediately comes out of Geordie. Both soldiers in the enemy team go forwards as well. But that kill onto Corndog is so quick. Tiger and Chris go down. So does Luke. Ams has found 1 kill onto Opti. He's in pure salvage mode. And he just runs in and kills Patchouli.
I mean, sometimes, some days, you just got it, you know? This might be the one. Maybe we're counting this one out a little early, but maybe he is, you know? We need to consider
He might
this.
just be him.
Alright, well, some days you just construct it in different ways, you know? So, we'll see.
Yep.
Spy comes out early, speaking of doing things differently here. Off-class is coming out early this match. I mean, it didn't... this is an even Uber stalemate if you just wait a second, so... why not?
This is a fight that I don't like. Opti on Spee, and it should let the Wizards kind of slow down the pace a little bit, I say. Geordie is picked off. Now that relegates them to mid, but it actually gives Opti a pretty nice angle to walk in behind. It should leave most of CSG focusing just in on the sack, but they find a kill onto Mac. No Demo Man here for the Wizards makes it really difficult for the Wizards to really do anything at all, honestly. They're now eggs fully in the Opti basket because he's sitting on top. He's watching his prey.
Alright, well, I mean, they're not making it easy for him on the rest of the team here. Everyone's dying, so CSG is getting so much free ground. He has to slowly catch up with them. Chris going down, might want any play into his hands here. There we go, right in his loving arms. Condog walks right into that one. After Chris died, there we go, his team finally delivers. And he might actually get the cleanup there as well. Very nice of F to let this come by, get the kill, just for extra BM. That being said, last-ditch effort this time around for CSG will not clutch it out. They tried, they didn't succeed this time around. Opti still stuck on Spy as well.
Yeah, this is
awkward,
now a
but,
situation where they're in an Uber advantage, but they also have a Spy. And the enemy team knows he's on Spy, so surely...
sometimes you should just kill right after you get someone on Spy.
Surely he doesn't get any more frags, right? His team has a 19 advantage, and it is so large and so very big. And it should be fine. He can scout out the enemy positioning, I guess, on last, as he's going to call out the heavy. Geordie's still just trading with Tiger on top, as his team's setting up, they're ready to go. They're ready to go to last. They're ready to get around.
Here it goes, Uber in, Mac needs to charge. Well, I guess the Spy does, but that doesn't count. Gun down early. What else can they do with this one? A little bit of cap and start, trying to but sticky to get the heavy as well. Nice arrow, will not save the heavy at all, though. Lucky weak as well, taken down. They're trading very favorably. Where's the Opti Spy spawn? Can't reach the medic, as we cannot get to the point. Opti with technically, well, it's, I guess the post round kill doesn't count, so it's a 3k this round. That's still more than most Spies do in any game.
And especially when you think that he's originally, I think, like, honestly, positioning himself for a little bit of a back cap. Instead, he's managed to just get a kill onto Condor, completely opens up the round for his team, sets him up so nicely. That follow-up pistol kill as well makes it all the more way easier for his team. Back on the middle we go, as the Wizards are back on top.
Let's see where they're gonna land when they're coming down here. Geordie with the bomb on the medic, gets him right away. Very nice stuff there. Lose people early though, so they gotta be very careful now how they play the rest of this one. But there we go, Opti's bomb falls flat as well, and all of a sudden it might be a good mid fight, but I don't think it's gonna be an immediate win.
They just have to keep their medic alive, right? They're 3 up right now, and they just have to play far back enough to where Mac can steal damage and not get killed himself. He almost gets taken down here, but you can see CSG. They're trying to set up on mid, set up some form of a stack, get the cap out, make it take as long as possible for the Wizards to get back in onto middle, in onto the enemy second, because they do have this big advantage. They just need to watch out, because there is a Chris sitting on a lamp. The lamp play. He's sitting up. He might drop down. No. He's going to get spotted up by Mac immediately. Instead, he gets time to sync up some rockets. Doesn't go for it. Now, the soldiers are just in, but arrow kill onto Af does slow down the Wizards a little bit. They're on middle still, but Banu taking a lot of damage here. Might just get taken down by Ams. They're coming forward. They haven't popped up this two, but Ams is just walking forward. Thank God he dies. That would have been so disgusting.
Well, even without the pixel lamp working out, it still was not too bad by CSG. I think instead I'd have to give them a point, but they really got them sweating there for a moment. Either way, It's not what they wanted to see here. Still have to fall back a little bit, but there's a lot of ones here. Crit Creek and Sniper up as well, so they really keep them guessing about what's the next move.
Loopy's sitting in forward spawn on the sniper hit. Jordy's just kind of in the skybox, tries to sink and save himself, maybe get a couple kills, doesn't get anything, dies instead. They have the sniper, it should have been called out here. I'm not really sure if Loopy can do much of anything here. You can see Tiger just walking back to spawn as well, resupplying. Surely everything is fine. So we are stabilizing. It is Granary second point.
Yeah, sometimes that's just all that matters, right? Sometimes you just realize, oh wait, actually, even Uber, maybe we don't want to go in just yet. And I don't know if they realize it's crit squeak yet as well. That's very easy to miss sometimes in the mix of things. So, and certainly not something your instincts will go check first, I suppose, especially in 6v6. So maybe surprise factor still in their hands on CSG, but they really gotta make sure that they can use it well as well. Because if you surprise them and they're still just not anywhere close to you, then it just does not matter.
This is a fight in onto choke now. Both the soldiers try to get forwards here, but it's just damage onto Jordy. Gets taken down. Opti completely cancels the sack. They're back onto mid, but actually, I'm blind because crits have been popped.
Yeah, you'd be excused to miss that.
Nothing.
It didn't do anything. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably most of HADOWWIZARDMONEYGANG where this was happening.
I mean, they're all stuffed in choke as well. How?
They got one guy, and the medic just was not the guy. So. That's just unfortunate. We can push one guy behind. This one's Tiger in the back. Will not succeed. Goes down, and they're just lucky with a crit with Uber on last now.
Do you know what time it is, DuMmTm? It's time for the crits Brass Beast heavy hold. But Ams is playing the wrong weapon. He's on the Tommy slap. What's going on? Either the meta's evolved or it's devolved. Actually, it's evolved because Mac is instantly sniped down by this heavy. There's another kill to Jordy as well in the back line, and this push is an absolute disaster. Crits heavy last hold. It's the future.
Alrighty, well, I mean, sometimes you just gotta take a chance, and it might not have worked on second, but I'm sure it's working on last with the crit squeak. Conduct swapping off now finally. Turns out eventually it's time to stop when you're ahead and actually start going ahead. It's still down this match actually, so gotta see if they can bring this one back. Early count of Aft starts off quite nicely. And the damage is there for them, forcing everyone back. Oh no, Vanu's just stuck on everything.
That's so sad for Vanu. Just gets taken down. They weren't able to get out. Now, CSG, they find themselves in a little bit of an advantage. Is Kodok still on crits? He's not.
No,
okay.
no. He's
back on it.
I
was about to get excited that maybe we could see an aggressive crits.
Maybe they should have stayed, actually, yeah.
We're on boring Ubers, man.
I don't know, I mean, have you seen last map? There was a lot of Ubers that very much were not boring, so you can't count these guys out at any situation, even in an even Uber stalemate on Granary. Someone might just take a very large chance.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. They're gonna have to find a way to break this stalemate, and I'm not really sure how they do that. Probably a soldier stack. Oh, there we go. It's almost like that's the only play there is. Tiger bombs in, doesn't really find anything. Iris soldier down. Question is, off-classer? Maybe? Perhaps? Sniper?
Do they have time for that? They're already making a move for HADOWWIZARDMONEYGANG. He was trying to take down Crate for the first bit of this fight. Chris down early gives them a lot of space to work with. The moment you're out of that little corner at choke, you're in such a good position getting in here, and they're actually in a brilliant position.
Oh my god!
Sees one of those two bombs coming, but outside his POV, Opti sneaks in to clean up of Jordy's damage, instantly sinking up those rockets. It's just a complete nuke by the Wizards. And I didn't know Wizards have a nuke spell.
Are you kidding? They just cast Meteor. Big, just like a big fire rock. That like, you know. We're gonna have to see if Chris is a spell stealer because he's walking in behind. We're gonna have to try and find something on second. Instead, just gets cleaned up. Jordy is hitting so many rockets, and now they're looking to push at last. They have such a giant advantage. Ams is on the sniper. He's gonna have to find some sort of a shot, but he's not able to get it. Now, Sentry Gun taken down by Max. Stiggy's on a point, should be cleared off in just a second, but it's a kill onto Aft. Tiger dead as well. It's an Ams on the high ground here. Loopy as well is not able to get on the point. They're looking to be, I don't want to call them in control, but they're definitely winning on fights, and that's all that matters.
Now, there's always been the narrative this is being a soldier map, and in recent years people always say, no, it's not actually that crazy, you just go in and die, but you know what, if you do it as well as Opti and Jordy do, you still end up winning, so just just hit your opponents very well. They're really good at that, as it turns out. Didn't look bad at the last set, but oh boy, are they coming to fruition in this map.
It's looking so good. Look at how stacked they are on CSG. Jordy instantly finds the counter Condor here. Tiger dead as well. And this just makes the mid so difficult for CSG. You see how low Fancy is. He's going to try to limp over to the enemy pack and try to have any health to work with. But 2 scouts on height makes it basically impossible. He's going to try to bomb in. Truly doesn't find any damage at all. Loopy up. He's going to walk around for a while, but I don't think he's going to find anything.
I mean, we were theorizing if this was Max team pick, and you know what? I'm starting to believe it was, actually. Looking pretty confident on this one, taking the slow approach this time around, but they have players to do it, so just take the long way around, get the Uber back on mid, and probably expect the second from here with the respawns.
That was such a clean mid from Jordy as well. The bomb was so big, so much damage dealt, catching them out. Everyone on CSG was standing on the same square, basically. They managed to get all of them, but Tiger, he's just in onto ramp room and manages to get the force onto Truly. That's a situation salvaged and saved. Condog is really far back and on 75% Uber. The Wizards, they don't want to engage on second. They're just going to sit back, relax, hope to potentially pray for a force onto Condog here as they push out off second.
Can't get ahead of yourself too much right now. This push did not get enough to keep momentum up just now. Gotta worry about the super coming up. Condog has already. Just trying to sneak their way in here somewhere. Looks like they're changing their mindset a little bit, going through the left side entrance, Opti behind them. It's a very expected play, right? It's very
Jordy
get force him.
Jordy hits them. Gets the kill onto Tiger. He's still alive, by the way. This push is so messy. He gets over onto Condog. Condog lives. It's fine. Everything's okay, DuMmTm. We're okay.
Is it? I don't know. I mean
it's stalled
is still 50 health.
It stalled for long enough, but Truly has 95. He's going to have Uber on second here as well. Actually, puts the Wizards in a really nice spot here. Granary is such a slow map that getting to run down the time, even though there's 18 minutes left, this is really big for them.
It is a slow map until you have
but they're coming in.
All of a sudden, it might just become quicker. They don't wait around for this advantage. They want to just go in already and make this advantage happen on their opponents instead. Late you got Patchouli. Does end up dropping some players, so they really need to make some value out of this one. Otherwise, it's looking grim for the rest of this fight.
Mac is just in ramp room, and he manages to somehow almost make it work, but it's just Ams in the cleanup as well. He's found so many players.
It's one up each, though. Did he just go back in? What's the play?
I don't know. Surely not, right?
I was so close to great as well, but they held very long there, which can be great, but they just dropped one too many players in the end for that to actually come to play like that. Played it dangerous there, didn't quite work out, but they might not be ending up in the losing side of this. Wait a second, never mind. Fancy Tiger. Do not want Beam to finish that sentence. They're winning, and there's no question about it by the looks of it.
But the question is, can you push Granary with just a scout kill? It's so much damage from the projectile classes here. On second, just onto the point. Kill onto Jordy is a little bit of a better pick, but Mac could do so much work here as the demo man. They have to be really careful because so much damage has been dealt already. They're going to get back up their scout. Looks like for now, things almost stabilized. The Uber trade is actually just going to come straight forwards. It's an Uber popped onto Mac, but Tiger ends up getting flashed as well, so the Uber is going to last equally here. Mac is barreling forwards here, wants to get this kill into Fancy, but he's not quite hitting the pipes. Af does get the kill into Ams, and it's Chris going down on the flank. Tiger cleans up Mac, and Patchouli is caught here. He's not able to get him onto second. The rest of his team isn't there. Jordy not on point either. 2 soldiers on the high ground. Opti's going to have to try and hold this all on his lonesome with his soldier friend on last. It is such a big push angle here for CSG.
They have to convert this one. They're already halfway through the game. They're still 2 down. You gotta take these chances. Waiting for the Ubers all the time they need here does give Patchouli a moment to get some buffs going, but we'll see if that's good enough right now. All of CSG getting ready right now, get the last few percentages going. They're building even, just in case the small time difference there might matter at all in the end, but you gotta worry what's ahead here. Gun Sniper waiting for them, and the Sword already doing some damage as well.
Now CSG, they're kind of scouting out. They should have seen Af on the sniper by now. Jordy's up on top here. Actually takes a lot of damage. Almost craters as well, but he manages to not beef the jump going back. Uber now popped in. Sentry Gun taken down here by Fancy and his immediate point presence, but Ams and Loopy both taken down by Max traps. He's actually finding a third onto Tiger as well. They're not able to get anything. Pachuli's still alive. Fancy somehow able to get a kill onto Opti, but Jordy now is just all the way on second already, bombing forwards. He wants this kill onto Chris, and he's almost making it work. Mac has found another one. Both red scouts just taken down.
They're back in again already.
Oh,
they're not
no.
waiting around at all, and they're just sitting, doing nothing on Granary. Second, just waiting for them to push them. And Condor, the one getting the kill in the end. Pachuli lives, but is this really much of a life living right now if you're stuck here with no teammates to heal even, really?
If you take that clip to the doctor, there are multiple players on the red team that end up with a diagnosis. That's not okay. That's a little bit of a psychotic play. I'm not gonna lie. Just kind of running in. They almost made it work. The kill on DuMmTm is so big. As, I mean, unfortunately for them, they didn't get the force out of Pachuli. Pachuli managed to stay alive, gets him 100%. Condog 80 should be the end of the world. You see the Wizards, they aren't going forward, so they're choosing to stay back on this advantage. It's now 14 minutes left in this game. The Wizards, I mean, they can just choose to roll down the clock, but will they be allowed to?
I mean, CSG has not been the kind of team to just let a quiet moment pass by for all too long in general so far. Last season, this season doesn't really matter. Roster changes still let them perform the way they want to for the most part, so the second they wither a chance somewhere, they're going to take it here, and they're looking for it very actively through this garage door. They're not making it easy. There's a lot of spam coming into that thing as well. So HADOWWIZARDMONEYGANG content with slowing one down for a minute here just to make sure that CSG doesn't get what they want, but let's see how it goes when they're taking their chances. Tiger has some opening to go for, but doesn't like his odds.
It's so hard to get him to round in a second. Into yard here. So difficult. Opti hitting some nice rockets to try and discourage Loopy, and he just gets taken down. But look at the spam, actually. The crossfire there from Chris as well does a lot of damage to the combo. Keeps Mac alive, though, does Pachuli. And now with this one pick, they're looking to go through choke. They've managed to get a lot of damage onto Chris, but they're still stuck in the choke. They may have to get so far forwards, they don't just get stuffed into the choke. Instead, they're now in on the mid. A little bit of high ground has been claimed by Ath as well, but it's just Ams taking Uber straight in onto Pachuli. Both teams have flashed, but it's Ams getting the solo. Not able to find anything off of it. They're rotating over to ramp, but the health, it might just not quite be there for CSG. They're back into ramp room, but back into even Ubers. They don't have any picks to go off here. Looking to maybe find something, but nothing's found so far.
Playing it dangerous, but CSG are the ones really having to take chances right now. HADOWWIZARDMONEYGANG opting to not pursue this much further, probably the smart thing to do, but right now CSG is not in a position where they can opt to just wait around much, play for the smart option. They're gonna go in quick and decisively, so the bombs are coming through, looking for the kill. Not even enough served by the medic. Get that kill right away. Tiger getting out as well. Brilliant jump by the soldier. However, instead of opting to worry about, that man just went behind while they're all going choke as well, and they did not see him coming, trading kill after kill after kill. And that's a bit of an awkward one. Health isn't that bad on HADOWWIZARDMONEYGANG, and while it's even numbers, there's not enough damage classes up to want to pursue this fight any longer on CSG. They're playing it careful here. They have the ad, they can't afford to take this one step at a time. The time is still there for that.
Crucially for them, Mac was only about 50 HP when that happened. He wasn't really able to chase. I think if he was a bit more healthy, didn't have to go for that pack, they would have chased and tried to get onto Condog. Condog was in a very awkward position in the enemy choke there on the mid, but unfortunately for the Wizards, just not quite enough health. Now, it's a 50% advantage here for Condog. Ath is on Sniper. Gonna have to try and make something happen here. Any kill would be good, as his medic is on at 60%. But you can see CSG, they're rotating over. They're opting to spend a little bit longer, try to get a better position. They're just claiming second. Now, 80% for Pachuli. They're gonna come forwards his Ams. Scout out last. 90%. They're looking like they maybe want to go in with this, but it should be even at this point. And no, they're backed off. Everything should calm down just for now. Another crucial teleport to pick up, but Chris trades his life for it.
Not the best trade, not gonna lie. Would like better odds on that one. Let's see if HADOWWIZARDMONEYGANG is gonna do anything with that. Doesn't look like it. It'd be highly surprising if they do anything more than one man side, as we've seen on Reckoner whenever they traded with guys from last, but with a sniper on the field. Why even take that much of a risk? Just let Ath do the talking, I suppose. Get Loopy as well. Tiger's still in, but they know exactly what to look for him, and that man.
Tiger's just
no,
in onto
never mind, they don't know where anyone
is.
is.
Force. It was an absolute disaster for CSG. They still have a sniper out of Ams, so it actually doesn't do that much. But Tiger just drops down. No scout playing with the combo for the Wizards there, and it just lets him get 2 free rockets of Pachuli. He had no choice but to pop Opti is in drop down. This play has not worked in about 5 years, but I'm ready for a blast from the past.
This is the one. You just gotta believe.
This is going to work.
Believe in the
CSG,
opti that believes
pushing
in
to
drop
get in
down.
onto second already. He might actually just get the kill onto
Oh, no.
Tiger as he respawns. There we go. So much damage.
Easy.
Gets the jump off of him and gets the frag.
I like
now
how he
back
went for
out.
tag
The
as
Uber's
well.
popped in onto second here. It's one kill onto Geordie. Ams is running forwards, but the back cap now from Opti forces them all to stack, and they're going to get it. Soldier is not with them, which means the pick ad for CSG. They're walking in on to a last now, trying to scout it out. Sentry gun now taken down as well. This might actually open it up because Kondog is finding an arrow kill onto Vanu. Opti's taking a 1v1 with Tiger on the flank, but it doesn't matter because Mac is dead on last. There's no stickies anymore. Opti's won the 1v1, but his team has lost the fight. He does so much. Tiger with the well-played in chat. As CSG, they capitalize off of a very optimistic flank play. And they get the frag.
Being behind like that is not, I think, the wrong play necessarily either. I think just going for the backup is really what broke it all in the end. They just needed that guy on us so bad. And he just came back so late from the backup attempt. I also like the fact that after the 1v1 with Tiger, he was going for the medkit that he saw Tiger roll out on. What if it's still there, you know? What if Tiger missed it?
Back on to middle now. You can see Geordie so
Oh,
fast.
not again!
Once again, Kondog instantly deleted. I don't know what happened to Geordie, but he's two-shotting him every single time.
Kondog found dead in Miami. Officials don't know the cause, but it might be Geordie every single time by the looks of it.
Ams is just right next to shooting him, by the way. And Medic is just spawned, gifted in front of his screen, and it just clicks twice. It's a free little med frag. They wanted to walk out through top there, out of balcony, and unfortunately for them, Ams is just kind of running around in his own kit. Patchouli drops down, and a scout just sees him, and that's an Uber equalized. It was such a nice play from Geordie as well. He's absolutely completely downloaded Kondog on mid, and it doesn't matter.
I mean, doesn't matter enough right now anyway. They're still in the lead though, so can't get too hasty on CSG just yet, bringing back these mid fights, but at the same time, they still have to actually do the hard part of bringing back this mid fight. They have to do that now, but so they got to get back in here and make it count. They're still down around as well, so a lot of work catching up with the lead the Wizards have.
Opti on Sniper here as well is going to have to maybe try and find something. He's in a bad position. It gets pickaxed by Chris. Now with the Sniper down, this puts the Wizards in an awkward position. They're going to have to back out. They want to try and get Patchouli to have an Uber chance. They don't really have the health, honestly, to hold you out. They're back on second because Chris is on height already. He's just sitting at Lunchbox. And no one can really contest him. It's giving his team so much room. They know that they can just get in on 2 yard. Now, maybe, potentially, a push on a trade, perhaps?
Chris in drop down also just dodging the rockets like he's playing Beat Saber, just in case, you know. Don't want to take any damage at all when you get back to the rest of the team. Gotta get in here, help you, and quickly, if you can help it. Patchouli with Uber coming out a lot later though, so we'll see if Uber can get anything. And Tiger behind might just be exactly what they need.
Tiger just bombs in and 1v1's Geordie. Now there is so much damage dealt by Fancy here, and he just walks forward. Stickies do so much work on this point, and he actually lives on one HP. If my chat isn't full of ones right now, I'll be so upset. The damage comes forwards here because he lives. The rest of his team can follow up. He's finally down. But what does it matter? It's just Vanu and Geordie versus the world, and the kills coming forwards, but it's not for the blue team. At least so far, maybe perhaps it's a cleanup. Forward spawns are now coming out. Mac is in onto Kondog, doesn't fight the kill. Has to win 1v3. He hits one shot. The health might actually be there, but he's not the point. He has to click some shots. Now Patchouli's back. He's killed Ams. Kondog has to hit with the moves, and he's not there. Cleans up.
That is a certified super moment. We praised Ams all game, and I've had enough of it. He wants to be #1 Finnish scout, and you know what? He's making a good case for himself.
He did look very nice. I'm gonna be honest, that was, I mean, CSG should have won that so many times over. It felt like beef on beef on beef there, but hopefully none of our viewers are vegetarian. So we're eating good tonight. That's what you came for.
Well, I mean, don't get too ahead of yourself yet. Gotta chew before you swallow, otherwise Shadow with the Moneygan might just choke still. There are 5 minutes left, 2-1. It's still a lead, but they're in a bit of a precarious position, and if CSG just gets one mistake out of them, it might be all gone again.
Tiger takes a bite of the beef and spits it right back out again. Not a swallower, apparently.
Opti back and drop down again. What's he gonna get this time? The answer is nothing. Or sometimes you just go 0-2 on your favorite map, you know.
Yeah, it is what it is. He tried to go for the play. Even Ubers, everything's fine. Everything's fine. No one's gonna do any weird plays.
So far.
CSG have a pick, which means that they just decided to bully Vanu, who unfortunately is just not allowed to go anyway. They have to go back, get some heals, and gives Chris and Alupi complete control of Lunchbox, which allows AMS to once again just take the AMS Uber forwards. Tiger flashed into top. Once again, he's in onto last, and he's found himself a little opti kill. Now has to contend with Vanu, and unfortunately that's a scout on even footing. So yes, he hits one rocket, but there's not a follow-up. Instead, AMS is cleaning up on a second on his own. Solos the combo there. One kill onto Chuli is going to wipe and tie up this game unless Opti hits the play of his life. It's not fair. Taking its 4 minutes remaining.
And it's once again coming down to the wire. These games are delivering, that's for sure. It's not over yet. Currently, obviously, as it was last map as well at some point, on track to overtime. But there's plenty time left still to get one fast round going. And if Jordy has as well mid again, maybe they're just going to play with a huge Uber ad from the get-go once more.
We're back on mid once again. Both teams electing to play relatively similar. You can actually see how slow combo is there on that mid. It's been insta-bombed by Jordy every mid. And finally, he's sitting in his own ramp room, letting Tiger and Chris bomb forwards. I've actually found 2 kills there, but Fancy now dead as well. Yes, it gives AMS the high ground, but there's no real teammates to play with. It's just AMS running forwards on his own. This Condog just does not want anything to do with mid at all.
Jordy just had to go home empty-handed from the bomb automatic, and he still cleans everyone up that tried to go for just the same kill he was. So all works out in the end, but it's not the big lead they were looking for. That medic surviving is a bit of a fun ender right now for them here, and oh boy, 3 minutes left. They gotta get something going sooner or later right now. And once again, we're in a position as well where we have to really see who wants to risk how much just before overtime.
This is scary for both teams, because Golden Caps and Granary are a dice roll. And unfortunately for the Wizards, they just lose 2 on the flank. Tiger's in, does a lot of damage to Patchouli, but it looks like maybe the cleanup is there in return. Now it's 1 soldier, 1 scout down for both teams. We're back at the equilibrium, but Mac fancies himself a choke push.
Maybe. I mean, the chances there, they have some people to wait for the response on red, so there's an opportunity to take him back, so we don't have to be with him. They don't want to use it as Eva as well. Oh. Nice shot there by Mac. I think didn't even aim for that man, just got amped by accident. Aim for the double man, there's the bombs coming through. Medics holding on for dear life, but can't hold forever there. Both soldiers going down for the force. They get what they want, but not the way intended.
Fancy with a really big air pipe allows Condor to just surf it for a little bit longer. Doesn't get hit. Now Vanu, they're up on Sniper. Gonna try to hit something. See if they can make anything work. It's actually just even Ubers, basically, right? 10% for Patchouli. It's honestly completely fine. They can just keep on holding. Keep on trucking. Minute and 45 seconds to go for both teams here, as we are completely even. And we're on the Granary second. It's our favorite stalemate in the game. How do they bust? How do they bust DuMmTm? It's 2 minutes left. Both of these teams, they like to push W, and I think for the first time, they are both just running down the clock.
Maybe so. It's once again the risk reward here we were talking about, and the risk is so big. The reward is so nice though. So what do? This is once again the moral conundrum. And you as the main caller have all the responsibility here to decide it for your team. And it looks like, well, not a lot of exciting decisions are being made, but can you blame them at this point? Oh, wait a second. Never mind. CSG has some more wiggle room with mid-control, so they're taking a big chance right now. It's working out, kind of. That's the medic going down, but it's also 4 dying for it.
But
so that's going to lose him a lot of ground.
I mean, yes. Nope, never mind. Ams is in.
I mean, Condor already has, so it doesn't really matter.
God bless. God bless.
I mean, the problem is now, right? It lost the mid, and with that, maybe not a lot of time, but maybe just enough.
I mean, they have a giant advantage here. This should potentially be... I mean, this has potential to be around, right? You have to be so careful, though. There are so many corners you have to check when you are playing against Opti and Jordy, playing it like they are right now. You have to make sure that Condor can take this Uber for as long as possible. When you have such a big advantage, you see how long they take to just clear the stickies. The Wizards, they cannot contest second. They're walking back. They want to buy as much time as possible. And Ams just wants to walk forward. The Uber's coming in now onto Mac, and he's staying alive for actually a really long time. He should just go down. No, he lands on the crate, and he's still alive. Arrow doesn't find him, but Ams has finally clicked on him in time, but it's blocked on second. Barnu and Opti are in, but surely destroyed there by Tiger, who hits the air shot. But the cleanup is there, and it's 2-2.
I was seeing them go to the flank there at Z with, I think, 2 guys. I was thinking, oh no, they're gonna hold second, aren't they? But they had bigger plans than that. It looks like they just made them keep pushing and just pick up the flank that was not ready, because what other option do they have? They gotta just all run in as well, leave one guy for last and for the second cap. It's an easy gamble to take if you're the blue team there, to just go for the weak, vulnerable one left out, hanging out dry on the second point. Will work out, gets them to overtime, but only gets them to overtime. They had so much control of this game for so long, and roles reversed this time. CSG clutches this just barely back from being down the entire time.
They were on the back foot for so much of that map, and they managed to crawl back. Second round honestly felt like a little bit a mistake. Some overcommits from the Wizards, just getting a little bit too overeager, taking a post-up fight they really honestly probably shouldn't have taken. But that was... I'm going to be honest, Ams hits a couple more shots, and that Uber coming in gets the kill onto Mac immediately. If Mac gets 2 shot when they take that Uber exchange, I think they probably just win. Right? No demo man. They had to spend so long taking down Mac. The deny as well from Opti and Vanu on into second as well. You know, CSG, they just left one player on second to try and get that cap, and they just send in 2, stop the cap, take us to a golden one instead. Tiger is the air shot of the season. And unfortunately,
it doesn't matter.
If there are 10 more seconds on that round, by the way, Tiger hits that air shot, they win the game off of it. 100%. But unfortunately,
so, but we don't live in that
fun,
reality.
they ruined the config.
I'm fine with this conflict, to be honest. I can see why people would want to break as well. I mean, you always just get 30 minutes, right? That's how the rules stipulated, I suppose. So if you can't do it in 30 minutes, then Lamar will get owned, and you know what? No one could win in 30 minutes, so HADOWWIZARDMONEYGANG is getting the big second chance, I suppose, more so than CSG out of this one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. These mids, honestly, have not been close. Pretty much every single time, it has been Kondog getting insta-deleted the second he shows up to mid, and then the last mid, he didn't go to mid, and everyone else in his team died because they didn't have HP. So, CSG, I think, honestly, if they're talking about anything right now, they're trying to figure out, like, how to not have Jordan two-shot their medic the second he shows up.
They might have to just do something weird and random to just completely be unpredictable this time around, because whatever they've been read like a book, and oh boy, can Jordy read.
Yeah, I'm just letting you guys know that actually the reason we're not starting yet, because I have chosen that we're not playing yet. And I think I've finally actually decided that I'll let you guys watch the game now.
What a benevolent god he is.
Yep. So, once again, guys, this is the golden cap. This is week 3 of Winter 2023 ETF2L, CSG, and Wizards. The Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We're in on Granary middle here. The Wizard, they're opting for the standard middle already. We're rolling out Fancy Elf. Kondog going at choke. All eyes are on Jordy, to be completely honest. He's going for the high bomb once again. His sights are on that medic on the red team. And he goes in, hits 2 rockets, and he lives!
Lands on the pack instantly.
He takes the pack and he survives. Mac goes down, and I think that just might be the key to victory. Somehow, some way, Kondog survives. There's not enough team for the Shadow Wizards to hold on. They have to walk back to last. They have to stabilize. They can't hold second here.
Chad confirms as well. Jordy did 154 damage, but Kondog got to the pack in time.
Oh
so it did not matter. And this might just be the one time Kondog lives that matters more than any other.
He's just coming up clutch. There is a loopy so far forward here. Even Ubers now, both teams down a soldier here. Jordy actually on top. Might get caught out, but nope. Arrow out. Julie's really good. Sentry gun taken down here. CSG are being so aggressive with this pressure. In on to last hit with the Sentry gun down. They're actually looking to just go through shutters anyway. Take this trade, maybe perhaps. Sentry gun once again taken down. Jordy bomb does deny a lot, but look at Loopy. It just runs forward.
Man's just on point. No one's stopping him. There's no gun yet. What's he got to fear? Problem is, if you do something like that, you'd like to see like a bomb of that, right? Like you are the distraction on point and hope for the best. Realistically now, I am expecting Loopy to come up sniper.
probably right. Or open. Yeah, he probably is going to play sniper or spy or maybe.
Wow, he's
both.
playing sniper. Crazy. Oh wait,
No. He's on
doubling.
spy checking, and then he's going to go sniper.
So they think he's on spy. Yeah,
Because he actually should see Opti on spy right now, but he's in spawn spy checking the enemy team.
He who spy checked last wins though, and if you're the guy on last, you probably have a better end on this one. Look at that, he's still spy checking.
DuMmTm. Do you think that now CSG think that Opti's just on spy? Until they see him again.
I mean, if
Opti's a gamer, he doesn't show himself.
Tiger is looking everywhere but forward. That man's terrified of the spy. They know
but exactly.
what happened last time.
If Opti's a real gamer, he doesn't show himself because then CSG think the enemy team has a spy. Because Loopy was spy checking it in spawn, you can see how paranoid they're being.
Well, here's the real question. Do they... Okay, now they know, right? That's two sort of speaking. Okay. If they didn't do that, they would have known. Because who on earth knows if they have even the hats on to see which sort of switch?
I mean, I'm going to be honest. Like, Opti just sits in a corner, doesn't show himself, and CSG plays so
At
scared.
that point, he might as well just face fly Spider with it more impactful. Instead of going for silly mind games when there's the whole one ETF2L point on the line.
A singular ETF2L point. But Opti is actually on the conch. I hope you failed to notice.
That's more than some people have gotten from before.
Ginormous sentry, or teleport to pick, rather, once again. Jordy's actually going to fall down. He's going to take so much damage, but he lives. Am's killed by the sticky trap. Don't think that opens up too much, especially with the sentry gun up out of Vanu. Sniper on Ath as well. Probably going to let them go for a little bit of a pick here. Chris does get taken down, but Jordy in return as well. This should just dissuade any further pushing happening from either team. Honestly, Ams is on sniper now. And this is the apparent solution to the problem of how do we push into Granary last. They have 2 minutes counting down and try and figure this one out.
Okay, while we are waiting for that sniper to get impact, production, I just want to say, Loopy's scattergun skin, big fan. Looks very nice. Keep it up, my man. Proud of you.
Do you think... Alright, so I have seen a member of Witness Gaming in Twitch chat earlier. I think maybe finally he'll learn how to push last. And it starts with Ams just hitting a really nice headshot onto Mac. Now, the opening has maybe just been found here. Vanu has to do everything they can. As a counter-snipe onto Fancy comes out instead. Ubercharge actually popped here by Condor. This is really not that good. They've managed to find one kill onto Opti, but it's just traded off onto Tiger. Why did they use...
That has to be a panic reaction, right? Someone just goes in and says, okay, we got this, we go exchange, and then they could not take any space. Oh, never mind, but do they need to at all? Oh no. The game starts with Ams.
What a shot!
The game ends with Ams.
Oh my god. Just goes in, headshot Patchouli now. Conrock, he's sitting in 75. There's no medic up for another 2 seconds. They're actually looking to just push this. It's a kill onto Mac as well. Jordy air shot by Chris and Tiger. Everyone falls. That headshot is disgusting. And it wins CSG the game.
Like I said, the game starts with Ams coming in clutch at the very first mid-fight, and it ends exactly the same way. There we go, Domo taking notes in the Twitch chat for this one. We'll see which of his scouts gonna snipe next match. That's tomorrow, I suppose. But for now, CSG coming out big, getting 5 points tonight. Not the clean win they might have been looking for, but they're coming in clutch every time at the very least, and that is worth enough every single time.
That's a good. That must feel so nice for Ams to come back like that. He was so big. He really, honestly, it felt like he was just kind of silent versus Witness.
Honestly, you're right. Like, it might not be worth losing a point for, but it will feel like it, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
you might need that point, but whatever. Right now, what cares is that it all worked out in the end. And Max team, I mean, God, they played so good too. That's the painful part. Like, the only reason why CSG had to be so clutch is because they really made them work for it too. But in the end, it's only a single point for them here tonight. And that's painful because this was looking so doable to be any number higher than it, really. That could have been a whole 6 point swing the other way around, and it would have been very believable given how most of this game, save the last few minutes each map, played out, right? So, a painful way to lose all of these points in the end. And they're going to have a lot of catching up to do the rest of the season to keep up with everyone else.
Especially if you're looking at this team, how close they played against CSG. Obviously, they didn't have the complete entire roster, so lacking maybe a little bit of soldier synergy. But I look at this team, and they're playing so close against CSG as a roster. I think in my brain immediately I place them like contender for either 3rd or 4th place in Prem this season, contesting that playoff spot. I think you look at a team like the Wizards, they are maybe looking to try and contest playoffs as well. Losing this match to CSG, I think if they're sort of on the similar level, makes it really hard. It puts a lot of pressure on them now to take victories off of the Frenchies. And not only the Frenchies, but also off of Nati Newt, which is weird that I have to say that. But like, it suddenly makes the Nati Newt matchup really scary and interesting.
I mean, at the moment, they got like a map win out of 4 maps. That's not too bad after all, right? So those guys are still in the race for anything, really, at the current moment. And, you know, considering that one of those was against Witness Gaming as well, our, I guess, first seed, so to speak, makes odds just even better from here on out, I think, as well. It's going to be a very interesting race to the finish here in Premiership, an even more interesting race to the bottom, I think, as well, beyond the playoff spots as well. No one wants to get this last spot this season, but someone will have to. And while there's no immediate prize for getting 7th, it sure feels like you're winning it all at the end there.
Yeah, it honestly, this season does feel like a season with like 6 or 7. Yeah,
I mean, after a game like
I
this,
mean, we've seen enough out of Na'I, I think, at this point where they actually seem like a really good team. I think there's a very weird world where they might actually end up like genuinely having a little bit of a contest for a playoff spot. I think they sort of look like dream crushers more than anything as a team that you really do actually need to beat, but not in the same way that, like, I think when you go into your matchup against Nati, you have to like really play well to make sure that they don't catch you off guard, because they have been catching teams off guard. It makes me really excited for the season. It seems like a lot of these teams, they have their clear strengths and weaknesses. You look at Jordy this game.
He is just their strength, apparently.
Yep. And that, imagine, all right. Imagine a world where Jordy and Opti get to play against Brudgman and Rons.
Oh boy, well,
Ooh.
it might happen sometime soon.
Whatever matchup, I actually don't know when they're
well, first of all, we still have some week 3 matchups left to go.
So
that's
true.
Tomorrow, all at 21:15, 3 in a row, but we will only be catching 2 of them. It's going to be 4th and Witness Gaming and Netty Newt and TF2 coming to you on the TFTV 1 and 2 respectively for sure, so expect streams for those. We'll see what happens. I mean, TF2 certainly has been staying winning, but Swift gave them a bit of a run for money on Sunshine. We'll see if Natty Newt can do any better than that, or if TF2 can just show, no, that was the one little bit of almost a choke we had this season, and it's over now, and we're just winning it all once again. Witness Gaming, similar position, haven't lost yet. Frenchies are a fearsome team, but have already done a bit of choking as well, so we'll see if they can at all put up a fight, with notably Domo not being there tomorrow as well, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think if it was me, unfortunately, I'm busy tomorrow, but if, let's pretend hypothetically that I was able to catch a game, I'd honestly be watching TF2 versus Natty Newt. Natty Newt, yes, they lost 5-0-5-0 to Witness, but it was, if you look at the logs, it took Witness like 30 minutes to do it both times, right? Like,
and surely they would never be doing a little bit of trolling.
They would never, no, Witness never troll. They're all a bunch of sweaty, try-hard nerds.
And that's why they're winning.
Yup. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if Natty Newt are able to do anything. I think that's the real litmus test. If they are able to even have a relatively competitive game versus TF2 then we've got some god gamers on our hands. But
and then there's no stopping the new generation at that point, right?
Yeah.
And all of us old heads can go home.
Yep. So true. So real and true. But I think that's it for us for now. Once again, TFTV 2 tomorrow, TFTV 1 tomorrow. This Twitch channel right here is gonna be back tomorrow. More games. Also, TFTV 2, more games. Also, I think at some point we'll have even more, if not anything else. Then next Monday, 21:15, there will be a Prem recap, fully charged. We'll be back with Lucky and probably me. Maybe a Prem player, maybe Eeply if he's there.
Basically,
we'll see.